I like maintenance.
I know. Okay. Hi, it's Stacy at Wayside Garage with Jonathan. We have a Chevy Volt that came in, and we wanted to discuss some of the important things that need to be done maintenance-wise on both hybrid and electric vehicles in order to make sure that you get the most out of your vehicle. I know that when it comes to gas engines and diesel engines, we are big proponents on maintenance and making sure that you take care of your vehicle. A lot of the electric and hybrid vehicles, people tend to think that there's not really much to do on them and that there's not really any maintenance. And we want to make sure that that electric vehicle or that hybrid vehicle lasts you just as long so that way you can get the most out of your investment. So Jonathan, what are some of the things that you see as far as maintenance on, let's start with hybrid vehicles, that need to be addressed in order to make sure that the customer gets the most out of their vehicle?
Sure. So I mean, hybrid vehicle like this one specifically, it's going to have all the normal components a regular internal combustion vehicle, solely vehicle has, on top of extra systems. For example, engine oil and something like this, because the engine doesn't run all the time, a lot of these times when the engine does kick on, it's going to add extra fuel, try to heat that cat up, try to burn some of the stuff off. And since the engine's not running all the time, you can sometimes end up getting more fuel or more sediment in the engine oil itself rather than a normal car that, you know, heats up and is going to burn that stuff off or cycle it through.
And when you say CAT, you mean catalytic converter, correct? Got it.
Correct. This one specifically actually has 3 separate cooling systems. It has one for the inverter, has one for the battery, and you have an engine cooling system also.
Wow.
So that's, you know, all fluids are somewhat subject to breakdown. The fluid itself is going to deteriorate. I mean, all fluids are subject to evaporation, you know.
Right.
Can you imagine the fluid that has to run through this battery pack, how small some of those crevices are?
Yes.
You know, I mean, that fluid that's just sitting there, you know what I mean, is...
The other thing
like
is with coolant or antifreeze, as it breaks down, it becomes more acidic.
Mm-hmm.
The pH level is incorrect, and that will cause electrolysis.
That's the last thing you want, because you're going to
Right.
get high voltage systems codes and stuff. Yeah, you're using a specific fluid in this for that exact reason, is you don't want, you know, you can't just use regular water in there. You
Right.
know?
And not only, I realize this is a Chevy Volt that's technically a hybrid vehicle, but the reality of it is it's from what I understand is that it is an electric vehicle with an engine on board that kicks on in order to charge the battery, which is
like
the
a
reason,
generator.
right? Which is the reason why, you know, you get 100 miles per gallon basically for fuel is what they I think it's 99, but
Sure, I think
that's what they advertise.
I think you can go past 50 miles just on electric charge itself versus like a Prius. You know, you're very limited on what you can do just battery alone. You know?
Right.
And I believe this one is a plug-in, so yeah, I mean it's very economical.
I also think that that's something to consider when it comes to the electric vehicles. When you purchase an electric vehicle, a lot of times I think it comes down to who your salesperson is and whether or not they're going to educate you on what the actual maintenance of the vehicle is and how to get that longevity out of it.
Sure, I think sometimes you're sold off of the fact that you have a lower overall maintenance, which
yes and no.
Kind of can be, but you would still want to be proactive. I mean, you know, some of these cars are expensive. You know, the last thing you want to do is not do fluid exchanges, you know, not do your tune-ups, not do your normal maintenance, and end up with a costly repair versus, you know, like we've talked about before, you can do multiple services and save that component versus letting that component fail and then having to ultimately pay much larger, you know.
And eliminate a situation where you're creating a problem with a very costly component like the electric battery.
Sure.
Because they're not cheap. And like we talked about, as far as the electrolysis and the cooling system, that coolant needs to travel through to keep that battery cool. And if you wind up with that situation, then you're going to be looking at an extreme cost in order to replace that battery. So making sure that you do your due diligence and maintain the vehicle. Just do a little bit of maintenance.
And inspections. Inspections are important.
Inspections,
You don't want
yes.
a leak to fail. You don't want a pump to fail. It could be something as silly as a hose.
Correct.
And now you're looking at all kinds of stuff on top of it.
Yes.
You know. So yeah, even
So annual inspection, right? We
minimum.
do have an annual EV inspection where we look at the fluids. You've got coolant, differential, brake fluid, transmission. We also look at the hoses. We do an undercarriage inspection. The other thing annually, especially on the electric vehicles, is a brake service. And basically, even though it's not necessarily replacing brake pads, it's servicing the calipers to make sure that you don't run into a situation where the pistons are pitting and creating a situation where your brakes are going to lock up.
Sure. Yeah, lubing the pin slides and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's something that should be done at least once a year, depending on your driving habits. Anything else that we should probably bring up? I think that's quite a bit of it, right?
Make
Oh,
sure you-
filters.
Tires, filters.
Tires and filters. Filters are also very important. There are some of the hybrid vehicles and even EV that have a separate filter specifically for the battery compartment.
Correct. Yeah.
So-
Kias. There's some Toyotas, Hondas
Right.
that have some of those filters are internal into the cab, and quite frequently we find people who have dogs. I love dogs.
Yes.
But that hair will get clogged up in those filters, and you can set a code too. And it's
Yes.
the same thing. You're going to keep that battery cold. You're exchanging a lot of energy. It creates a lot of heat. So
Right. We
that's an
wanna-
important thing to
That's
do.
going to cause an issue. Think of it, I always say filters are like, when they get plugged up, it's like asthma for your lungs.
So covering your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to run and cover your face. Yeah.
Yes. So for the batteries on the hybrid and electric vehicles, it's extremely important to make sure that you have proper airflow along with that coolant. So tires are another one. I know that tires on most hybrid and electric vehicles, because of the extra weight of the vehicle, because of the battery, they require specific tires for that vehicle in order to accommodate for that.
Or to try to keep some of the road noise down too. They have certain
Correct.
inserts and stuff for the tires. Yeah.
Yes. And also, they do tend to go through tires, wear through them a little bit faster because of the fact that they're carrying extra weight, so there's more friction on the road.
That's where I think that maintenance comes in, is making sure you get correct tire pressure, correct alignment, correct, rotating of tires. Try to save them, you know what I mean, as
Yes.
long as possible, because some of them
Extend the
get
life. They can be
expensive.
pricey.
Yeah, run
So-
flats, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, long story short, definitely you want to make sure that you have the vehicle inspected every 6 months or at least once a year, depending on your driving habits. And we are happy to accommodate that for you. We actually give you a pre-scheduled reservation so that way you have a priority reservation. Give us a call, 831-899-2425, or go to our website and schedule a reservation at www.waysidegarage.com.
Hey, come see me. I'll answer
Come see
questions for you.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
So Jonathan is an ASE certified hybrid and EV technician. So very proud of him for that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.